What are you taking away from this one?
This is a lot to actually take in, to be honest. But I love the idea right now from Full Sense because this is a huge pivot for them. The previous times that we've seen them play Yoru, sure, it's good. We already know how they're able to utilize it. This is the interesting part. Leviathan bringing out the ISO. This is, I think, one of the few times that Full Sense has brought it out, specifically on Split 3. And I love it because it at least negates the threat of that Viper from Beta. And once he has that kill contract, he can isolate a couple of the fights, maybe even deter the Viper utility and get into the site faster. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Full Sense make full use of this this ISO.
My thoughts are it's going to be Full Sense absolutely stomping or getting decimated. There's going to be absolutely no in-between, and that's what makes this game ever so exciting. That's all right. So they've just waltzed their way in towards Garage. For now, it will be Snappy taking their first point here in the cubby, and he does actually manage to get the one. QQ God, good trade. Snakebite goes down to keep him away. Now they're just going to settle, but look at this flank that's coming in from Leviathan very, very quickly. Dark Cover will fade. Missing the shots, though, does connect, and that should be site now secured.
Oh, Canada, though, did get the flank as well, so unfortunately no kills there. Seems like Full Sense are just going to be securing the site, but they are not going to go idly by as they will chase down onto Surf, and he falls down.
Absolutely, Leviathan able to find that one quickly. I thought that could have potentially fallen over, but now Kennedy finding his way back through spawn. And they will have XC in tow as well. But look at the control, look at the positioning. Nice and easy. Leviathan opening up with 3. Great start here for Full Sense as they pick up the first round.
Yeah, no fear from Full Sense here. They know exactly that because they don't have that breach, they can start just challenging all of these angles and not really fearing that fault line that hits multiple targets. You can see how fast Potter was at just charging in. And even though Beta does have that threat on the Viper, right? The Snakebite, when you don't really understand where your opponent is going to be coming out of, you can't preemptively throw out the Snakebite and deny them access. So this is just really good, I think, pacing from Full Sense at the start of that round.
Look at the opening as well. Potter finding Surf very, very quickly. Spike still down, not really too stressed. We do have a little bit of further mid-control from Kennedy, but no scope to come through from Potter as well. Kennedy does get some information, but Sephiroth takes him down, and now it's just that walk-through Garden to see if they can find anything together, but they do cross up. Kennedy finds one. QQ God should be able to take him down. Sephiroth's there to drop the Masamune in, and Snappy going down means that Full Sense will have a pretty happy-looking bonus, that's all right.
Yeah. Nice idea, though, from Talon to just, you know, keep, just poke and prod the offense and see where Full Sense kind of plays out. This is a good way to just feel out how they might be playing at that next round. And you never know. You can get the catch off on them, take away a couple of weapons, and just put a bit more caution into the approach of Full Sense here. But Full Sense didn't look too phased by it, so far, so good. That being said, it is going to be that gun round, and it seems like there's still a lot more focus here from Talon looking into that C site.
A little bit of a slower approach here. Just going to be watching over towards Surf. Pretty bold position. Great shot from Potter. And the gate crash to pull him away. Beta and Kennedy, though, able to find 2 very, very quickly. Laz does get the trade. And that opens up the side of A here, Asarai. They're going to pick up the pace and head down towards that site. We will have a little bit of a delay coming in from Potter. And I didn't actually realize that Beta was taken lower in an earlier exchange. So they're going to look straight through from Heaven. Up nice and close. Tripwire does get taken too, so they're going to try and get this spike planted now, but look at the quick attack. They're making their way straight out towards CT.
One enemy remaining.
Woo! Okay. Happy little 4K there from Laz. Beautiful stuff from Full Sense. I thought that could have turned the tides very, very quickly, but a bit of a lackluster reapproach there from Talon.
Yeah, and I thought that was actually pretty good from Talon at the start because they had the hit on the stun on the Omen, and they were kind of just pushing in all together, but I guess it's the isolation from the smokes that made them confused on how to fight through that, and maybe just that last tripwire from Laz as well that really kind of sealed the deal because they had to kind of go through it, and they weren't as coordinated, even though it looked like they were kind of dropping into the site together. A
little bit awkward for Talon Academy. Feeling the pain of losing out that bonus. Never sort of a position you want to be in, especially when there were still 3 alive for Full Sense. So a lot of picking up of the pieces that they'll need to do these next few rounds.
So far, it is just... Okay, I was about to say. Potter's been pretty nasty with those. Last round, that was the Marshall headshot, and now it's this one. I don't know if this is going to gravitate more attention from Talon, but this is a great signal for Full Senses to work their way into that seaside. Once that smoke dissipates, it all hell's going to break loose. And whoever's at the end of this, receiving end of this one, it's going to be Beta. He sure as hell has to be very snappy with his sheriff shots to actually get some value.
At least the Poison Cloud will keep them at bay for a little while longer. We do still have Snappy inside the garage. Don't think he's overly keen of making his way out. We still have a little bit further control, some extra time. Good opening shot, though, and this is where it gets a little dicey. Snappy, he's picked up 2, and now that Snakebite goes down. This is very, very scrappy to come out from Full Sense at this point in time. They've lost 3 members now, and they try to turn the tides, get out of there. Xe does get taken down, and that means that the side of A is open, but I don't actually think they have the time. They need to try hightail it straight in towards the side of B. They are rotating all the way around, but this is a potential prospect for a retake here, Asarai, in the 3v2.
Ooh, it's going to be a plant there just for the safety of it. Good catch, though, from Sephiroth. That is at least going to put the numbers equal. Shot onto Surf as well, and Laz, he's in a 2 versus 1. Knows already that his opponent's going to be on the corner as he backs away. I love the idea here because he has that camera and the timing and the sidestep. Laz with the clutch again.
God, he's good. That was beautiful play. I certainly started to sweat a little bit there for Talon Academy. Full Sense, rather, you know, just seeing 3 go down straight through that dark cover, straight through that poison cloud. There was no real fight back, and yeah, it looked a little bit limp, a little lackluster, but they are able to convert the 2 versus 4 and keep their momentum here with the 4th round.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the Viper, right? Once it's understood to you that your opponent is going to make that particular move and you can actually set up for it, your utility, its stocks go way up. And you saw the value of that. If there was like more weapons on the side of Talon, that could have been a completely different situation.
Ooh, okay. Managing to make quick work of 2. Now the Neural Theft out to find that rotational information as well. Kennedy feels the pressure, does have the operator out, of course, and now as we do see the Yoru go in towards Hell, there is time to get that spike planted. QQ God now joining the fray. It is going to be awkward, though. Snappy already out. The Owl Drone will actually miss the mark, and the fake out does get sent into position. So now it's really sort of sweaty here. Beta fighting Sephiroth, so bringing it back to a 3-on-3. There is a real opportunity for Talon Academy to try and find this one back, but a great shot from QQ God. The relay bolt doesn't quite connect. They've made their way out into the cubby. QQ God finding another and leaving it just onto Kennedy now. Has to try and find the clutch here, Asarai, but I think he's a little bit nervous. That operator, it will be very important to be saved in towards the next round, and he narrowly misses the shot onto Potter too. So Full Sense, they continue this tear. 5 on the trot, and yeah, barely baking a sweat.
Yeah, and this is kind of awkward for Talon Academy. I'm pretty sure they're going to call a timeout after this particular round just because of how it felt messy. Like, you saw some people from Talon pushing up onto a long, which is sure fine, but then they kind of immediately lose their lives. Like, Surf, who is your initiator, gets caught up, but I don't know, maybe it's just because of how good the contact is when you have an ISO, and because it's Leviathan, he's always going to get a net positive you know, contact for you. But so far, it is putting Talon on a loop, and that's never what they want to be in. They're not able to dictate the pace, which what we saw, you know, from the previous games that they played. And this is just a completely different outlook that is being presented to us by Full Sense.
Timeout now being taken exactly as you sort of estimated, right? And if anything was sort of told or sold yesterday was we saw consistent moments where shortly after the timeout was taken, the first round was secured. So if we can rely on that, I'm going to assume that Talon Academy should be able to pick up this next one. But they are feeling the pressure, right? You know, they've not really had much on the table just yet. A couple of minor moments, but it seems like that was when Full Sense was sort of caught lacking, right? As opposed to these, you know, all-out rounds where everyone individually just seems to be performing quite well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And, ooh, this is, I mean, that was, you know, the right moment to set a time up for Talon, but this is where Full Sense has one of their strongest combos. They've got the undercut, or excuse me, the kill contract, they got the dimensional drift. Everything to set pace for yourself is all here available for Full Sense.
Who's next?
Taking the risk now, but Potter surely about to find some information inside that dimensional drift. XE does pull away. So we do have the spot. We do have the info. Gonna be throwing that gate crash, and they actually look to pull him in with the kill contract here. Leviathan looking for Snappy. Will he be able to get the connection? He absolutely will, and the double tap replenished too. So they've already found the site. They've already found the spike plant, and they've just got so much space across the map, Hasarai.
How the hell are you supposed to escape someone when you're getting chased by a dimensional drift and a kill contract where your opponent has a shield at the end of those fights? It's just so difficult to be in that situation because the operator is still in the hands of Kennedy. There's like one less real big threat of a weapon that Full Sense has to deal with if they have post-plant utility.
The undercut did keep them at bay for a little bit, but now as they find their way out, the paranoia goes in the fault line. There we go. Leviathan just hitting shots left, right, and center. Beautiful stuff. It's all left on to, yeah, just Surf and Beta, and I don't think there's really a hell of a lot can they do. You know, QQ God is going to rip the Hunter's Fury just to kind of, you know, put fear in their hearts, but Potter's already got the flank onto Surf, and if he connects on the shot, oh man, Talon Academy is getting murdered right now.
Yeah, it's just how good, you know, Full Sense have. They basically gotten their ROI, right? Because they've gotten so many rounds already, and they have the combination that they were looking for. It's so difficult for Talon to dig themselves out of that particular hole, and you saw how difficult it was for them to scramble. And again, there wasn't really any big threats for Talon Academy because they still had that second layer of post-plant. I was just kind of guessing where maybe the operator gets value, but Kennedy was not able to get any of that throughout that entire round at all.
It's just so awkward, right? You know, you come into a round with a couple of Guardians, the Stinger, the Sheriffs, like, this is all you got. And into round number 7, you know, so much of this map has already fallen apart. I guess Haven still obviously feels like it is a little bit more attack-sided, but not this bad, right? You know, you'd think there was a little bit more to come out for Talon.
Oh,
now Snappy's in a very awkward position. He's going to be going down as well. Does get some damage off, but 4v5 again.
Wait, Leviathan just got his used his ultimate last round. He's already like 1 kill away from getting another kill contract. That is impressive and very, very bad for Talon Academy.
Oh boy. Pressure's on now. Blindside out. At least the opening damage found by Kennedy. He almost finds 2 here, and if he's able to do further damage, but, oh man, the overdrive ripped, and he can't quite connect on the shots. It's all going to have to be onto Beta to see if he can pick up anything here. The former player, you know, he's been on Myth, Xersha, Sharper, lots of the Thai superior rosters. So he makes his way just outside Link now in towards Connector to try and retake this side of A on a solo play. Would have to be a 1 versus 3 to connect in full, and at least he's able to kind of isolate these 1v1s here. Potter is low. If he clears out Hell, there might be an opening. There's the first, and now QQ God starting to sweat a little bit here. They do get the Snakebite down, but look at this reposition. Has he actually gone onto the other side of the screen? He has. This is going to make them start to throw out a little bit of concern right now, but he can't quite connect on the shot. QQ God will find it, and Full Sense, well, they just continue their test, 7-0.
Yeah, that definitely was a guessing game for Beta there, but unfortunately, he misread the situation, didn't understand that QQ God, like you mentioned, was still on the site and kind of just wrapping around. This contact was, this part specifically here was, I think, still not the worst for Talon Academy, but because of just how far the firepower was, it wasn't really... It felt like it could have been better if they had better firepower. That's what I'm saying, but so far, not so good. And because, again, you know, Leviathan did die that last round, he's got the kill contract now available.
My God.
2 rounds after using it.
Man, he's getting activated.
Yeah.
Just buying their time. Back in towards market, garage rather. The alarm bot will be spotted. Now as the contingency goes out, it looks like they are actually going to be following this one in. Or is that just the fake out? No, it's just a fake out. Yeah. Beta are not going to be caught off by that one. And the Hunter's Fury already expended too. They've invested so much. And Leviathan not even going to go down there either. Kill contract again. It's Snappy too. Oh, okay. He gets his vengeance.
Yeah, that was pretty important for him. Still though, it seems like Full Sense, they're not, you know, discouraged to go for these fights. Unfortunately, it kind of did put him on a spell. Potter does not have the spike, so he has to pick it up, and will have to at least push back because of that lockdown, but those 2 kills pretty important for him because now it's a manageable 1 versus 2 that he could play around with.
Left.
Oh.
Time. There's an opportunity, but Snappy will deny. There we go. Finally a round on the board here for Talon Academy Aserai. They can breathe a gentle sigh of relief. If they get a couple more, maybe there'll be an opportunity to sort of turn the tides into the next half. But for now, again, Full Sense's money still really strong. And it really took, a couple of missed opportunities there too, where the shots didn't quite connect. So, that's still a round where it wasn't clean for Talon Academy.
And it just goes to show that, even though that is the case, Talon Academy still aren't going to get that discouraged, right? It is that 7-1 or 7-0 a while ago, but they're still finding these cracks in Full Sense game plan. And once you can make that happen, you get your confidence back, and that is one of the most important things I think Talon Academy need right now, because it's all about confidence, especially with this double control that they have set a plan for us, or for this game.
Scanning ahead.
So onto the side of B we go, Aserai. Already walking through the link. Potter getting 2. My God, from the back of sight. Surf having to try and pick up the pieces here. Dimensional Drift popped again just to try and get some further information. They've called that the site is free at C. And now Potter's just going to rock his way in towards spawn. Even using that gate crash to try and join the team again. Exy trying to pick up something, but look at this position from Sephiroth. Surely it's going to be overlooked, right? Getting in towards that position. Gets the info, but doesn't connect on the shot. Now finding Kennedy inside mid. So it's all going to plan here for Full Sense. Only losing the one singular member in Leviathan. And yeah, whatever they've been working on, maybe just the Hong Tai is all playing out for them.
Yeah, I agree. I like this from Sephiroth, though. Oh, I don't think... Yeah, okay. So I like this from him because whatever happens in this situation, he's just always going to be in their heads. Yeah, love that spot. Oh. Okay, and here I thought he was going to just shoot through that wall. Maybe get a kill. So far, Conky, this is just looking to be a Full Sense game. If Leviathan misses a beat in one of the rounds, it feels like Potter is there to pick up the slack, and it is such a good 1-2 punch combo from Full Sense. Talon definitely needs some stopping power, but I don't know what they have available to them that kind of fits the bill on that.
Yeah. Oh, the undercut. Is it going to connect? It's so awkward here for Kennedy. It's going to be all onto that timing. He does manage to slip the net. One, and it's only this Stinger. And Potter, Leviathan, they've already found Exy. So even though there was the double up one side over towards Sewers, they just couldn't quite find it. And now Surf slotting in towards Sewers himself. He's not going to be spotted by that out drone. So I think he's actually found some additional time. But look at the position. They're still holding on to a little bit of control further back. You're not seeing any overextension here from Sephiroth. So they get into position. Gate crash will be destroyed. And now Snappy looking to make his way back around that flank. I think there could be a hell of a lot of unknown information. But they've moved through. They're going to link. They're going towards the different site. They actually made plant B here. And now Sephiroth's got all the information. He can rotate slowly. What is this round?
I honestly can't tell you, but I think Sephiroth was able to read the situation well enough. If he doesn't push out of this... there it is. Beautiful, beautiful just interception from him. And Surf, man, what the hell is he going to do in this 3 versus 1?
All he can do is just try his best. Pot up. Holding down the link. Surf now creeping around. The second that information is given, the old bait and switch. QQ God finds the shot. And, well, round number 10 nets further success here for Full Sense. And Aserai, as I said, man, like the one round that Talon Academy got, it was labored, right? Only 2 alive, and then still we had that one moment where there was that close 1v1 clutch where, it only was Full Sense just getting across the line, but they kind of running through the poison cloud up at Long C. So, yeah, it's just not looking strong here for Talon Academy, and I can't tell if that's Full Sense just looking really, really good, or if Talon aren't giving it their all right now.
Could be a bit of both, honestly, because Full Sense, everything that they've done... Oh, okay, I'm just going to be quiet because So much action already.
Owie, owie.
Take flight. Enemy.
Oof. All right. I just gotta add. It just feels like it's so okay. Oh. So you can already see Talent Academy having to use their From the Shadows like that just because they're lacking in that information game. Losing Surf so early in this round, and honestly, in a lot of these rounds, is putting a lot of strain on Talon. They are forcing themselves to go for these peaks just so that they can get a sliver of information that doesn't even give them a big advantage in the defending side. And now it's going to be Full Sense attacking back into that C side.
The fact is, you know, at the start of the round, they haven't even had to move out of the spawn, and they've already found 2 kills. But at least Snappy has got one back. He's also done some further damage on towards Leviathan. And this flank, you know, the tripwire is down, so it does make it a little bit more awkward. But as they wrap their way into Garage, maybe there's an opportunity here. There's about to be a brawl, at least, over towards this Garage position, as now they peek on in. Kennedy doesn't have any shield. So it is going to be a bit of a tough one. Look at these angles, and even though Potter's on the line, you know, he's been hitting the shots with that Outlaw. They don't even need to do anything. They're just going to sit still. Every single member has each other's backs. The boys club here for Full Sense is, yeah, they're all broing out on Haven, and it's working out for them.
Yeah, there is, I don't know, maybe they went into a camp or something and started just, I don't know, building that bro synergy, you know, that good bro time, but that being said, everything is just falling into the hands of Full Sense with how they want to play. Look at that, so incredibly hyped for the team. I mean, they don't have to like just, you know, how do you say this? Jump out of their seats, but you can feel the energy. They're on point. Again,
they're feeling good. And I think, yeah, Potter has just been, you know, so consistent. He's 16-4 now, which is quite a statement. You know, we're talking about how this agent selection, it's either going to be really, really good or really, really concerning, right? You know, we do see these teams get the aggressive double duelist play in, and sometimes it can all fall apart, but, you know, that's the way Haven can be played. It can be a little bit chaotic at times, and, you know, Full Sense are just very much in control, and they are looking like the way more experienced and way more equipped team in this matchup, you know, which can be said in some areas, but obviously we do know that, you know, players like Surf, players like Beta, they've been around for quite some time. They've done some good things in their careers.
Well, I feel like for the meantime as well, they just have to somehow find a way to pull another round. Okay, there you go. That's a step in the right direction, right? But is that gonna dissuade my sense here? Okay, the undercut's gonna be an entry for sure. Ooh. Okay, that was like a best of 3, 2 for 1. Oh, Beta!
Yeah. What is happening? Surf's going to be able to get 1 and 2 back. Is he going to get taken down? He was scanned. And QQ God does manage to at least find 1 back. So Xy's got the power position here, but only with the Guardian. They've even thrown down the dark cover to try give some additional space. They've actually both postured away from the site, though, a little bit now. You know, one slotting into Garage. That's going to be QQ God. Not spotted yet, though. He's actually managed to slip the net. Getting onto that position, I think he's done enough to kind of keep them a little bit secret. But Xy, he's done enough. There you go. Finally, some reconnaissance, some recovery to come out from Talent Academy. And you can see that they're not fully dejected. There was a little cheer there from the side of Talent Academy. So they're going to give it their all. They're going to try and get back into this. But it's a big uphill battle from there.
I gotta say, that was an insane clutch from Xy, because it just felt like everything was being, I don't know, dismantled so efficiently by Full Sense. And again, that's Leviathan's threat with the kill contract and everything. That flag from Xy, though, even though when he was on that Guardian, turn the tides is so important.
So many members of this Full Sense side are just putting in the big numbers. Potter has been looking awesome on this Yoru, and now Talon Academy looking to get straight up in towards the side of B. Laz will be the first to take point here and hasn't showed his hand. Yeah, he's been able to keep secret for just a quick second and finding the first on the Kennedy. Now it's about to be a brawl outside mid here in towards the window. Surf does find the opening, sliding through the barrel there as Snappy wrapping around into position. QQ got Sephiroth there, dropping like flies right now. Xe does find another, leaving it onto Laz. I remind you, he was the first one to take point here in the round. He is denied, taken down. Talon Academy finding the pistol here. Game still on.
That was incredible from Talon Academy, being able to hit those much needed kills.
Goes here.
Because of the from the paranoia being thrown out by Xe. Again, he's bringing a lot of value for this, right? 2 rounds in a row now. If you can make that snowball a little bit more, I think Talon could be in a good spot. We have seen teams struggle on that second half in full sense. They're stuck on 10. Might be a big hit to their mental. Beta hitting shots.
Yeah, trying to look for the orb control early, but denial of service. Almost. A little bit of a sweat there. Leviathan still alive, still kicking. Hits 2. Oh my god! Leviathan pops the double tap looking for more. Laz denies Kennedy, and we were just talking about how Talon Academy was going to do something, turn the tides a little bit, but then Leviathan comes from the ocean and bites them down, sinking the ship. Jesus, man. What a play. How? He destroyed the dart, too, in the process. Dropped down to the dart, gets the double tap, hits another shot. That's just insanity, man.
I thought he was...
Give him the 4K.
I thought he was done for, especially when he was getting hit through the wall, right? So, oh boy. That was a very, very costly set of kills against Talon Academy. But yeah, you're right. He deserves that 4K, but Xe's just probably going to chill for a little bit for his life. And honestly, at this point, I think Talon's just going to have to use that 30 seconds as a pseudo timeout and just discuss what the hell they're supposed to do after all of that.
Well, that's right. Hey, you know, like, I can only imagine what it would feel like to be a player saving a Vandal in round 2, right, of the half. Like, it must be so painful to try and stomach that. So for now, he's just holding on. And we'll just have to, chat out about the round and think about what they can do here. But now they're kind of letting this one slip a little bit, right? You know, it's their map pick on Haven. Icebox next.
Thrifty.
And I gotta say, this is... this is like the... Okay, there we go. Good save for Xe for that Vandal. Any timeouts? I mean, if they lose this next round, it's going to be 12-3. Okay, no timeouts. When we're looking at the replay here, I just want to add, okay, this part of the replay.
This one.
This is the first time we're seeing Leviathan bring out the ISO in competitive Valorant. Just wanted to throw it out there. And what a start. What a showcase for Leviathan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are the little individual highlights, right? You know, even in a game that's very, very one-sided, you can still see some individual prowess come out in moments like that. So nicely done from Full Sense to reestablish. They're not going to let Talon Academy get back in towards this. And now Laz trying to deny the C side. Kennedy, though, slides on in with the high gear, able to get in towards the site, finding the Vandal, and now establishing that plan. So it's going to be a tough retake here for Full Sense.
Yeah, good positioning from Talon Academy altogether. They also, well, they did save the recon dart as well, so at least there is going to be that helpful util. Sephiroth is also going to set up the smokes and everything here, but it seems like Full Sense aren't really able to get their rhythm. Kennedy already picks up a couple of kills, and Potter, yeah, he's just going to try to make it as expensive as he can. Tries to shift up the weapon, but he will get chased down and shut down by Beta as Talon Academy get another round in, and they stop the bleeding a little bit here.
1 for 1 so far is all we've seen, but I guess off the back of that, you know, Full Sense actually have a reasonably okay economy for like a half buy or a force buy back into this round, and I'm sure that they're going to take it. It just depends on how far they actually want to invest into it. Are they going to keep the 2K, play like a little bit of a bonus, and just hope that Leviathan and Sephiroth can do the damage? And I think that's exactly the approach that they're going to look for. So we still can't count them out of this round. Talon Academy with a hell of a lot of pressure on them still.
Seems like Kyoko God does not want to take that heat on A long. Knows that Kennedy can just be in front of his face and on the chase as quickly as, so just gotta chill. But I like the setup here for Full Sense just because they did put both of their duelists on A, just in case Talon go in for those fast plays. They have, you know, these fighters that can at least keep them at bay. Maybe even win, you never know.
Oh, Leviathan taking point though now all the way down into sewers. They have left, but that's Sephiroth with one of those Vandals finding some further control. They are running in towards the site. The paranoia, it's good, but Surf already up in position. Beta finding QQ God as well, and now it is just going to be onto Potter to try and rotate his way out. But look at this control, Asarai. They're already rotating their way up in towards the site. Laz is going to make his way through the dark cover. They're not going to be ready for this at all, but he whiffs the shot. Does connect with one, but now Leviathan, surely they're not going to be ready for him at all. A 2 versus 3. Exy at the back of side. If he can slip the net here, Surf might be able to find one. Make it 2. Here's the footsteps of Kennedy, but here's the confidence that you want to see from your duelist, from your Neon. Getting all up in the grill of Full Sense, and they put one foot in front of the other. This game is not done just yet.
Yeah, I love that. Kennedy also realizes that he can't really take it slow against someone like Leviathan, who loves to play that isolated 1vx situations, right? The more that you put Leviathan in that situation, the less advantageous it is for you. So Kennedy just chasing down for the kill. Very good stuff for him. He realizes that. So that's all well and good. Now Talon, they're building up these rounds slowly but surely.
We'll never forget the Abyss 1 versus 4 clutch at Ascension. Many, many moments, highlights from last year's tournament. And we're exactly almost at that event again. Getting closer and closer each day. Potter, great opening here onto Surf. First gun round in the half so far, Asarai, as they are looking for some further damage. Leviathan at the front of mid, and it is going to be that dark cover, so Snappy, it'll be pretty bold for him to try and fight this one, but the rest of the team looks like they're heading up towards A.
And it's only just going to be the one defender. No, 2 defenders here with QQ God and Potter. Great use onto the flashes and everything. And it seems like they were able to also find out Snappy that was just on the lurk. Great 2 catches for XZ. And alongside that is going to be the help from Kennedy. Now, because of all of that kerfuffle, it is going to be that 2 versus 2, where the spike is going to get planted. Any big ultimates that they can maybe use. Kennedy does have his overdrive, so that's going to be at least something that he can, well, try to use. Here is where it gets interesting. Never mind, it is going to be a very difficult position for XZ. It's a 1 versus 1. He hits the paranoia for paranoia. Now has to guess where Laz is going to be coming from. Laz spots it out, but just XZ being too quick, we'll be able to pick up that 4K.
That's an incredible round. A 2 versus 5. Asarai converted for Talon Academy. As I mentioned, you know, it's 1 foot in front of the other. If you want to try and climb the mountain, you want to knock the Titans off their perch, you just have to not think about it, right? You know, just keep trudging, keep on putting the work in every single day, and you can hopefully find yourself some success. And that's exactly what Talon Academy have been putting together this last little bit. You know, we're not going to get to a point just yet where we can start to worry for Full Sense, but these are the kind of games, Asarai, that you really want for Full Sense's sake. Them to just destroy, them to just win nice and quickly, right? Yeah. The longer and longer they let these ones go on, the more and more you question their potential into the rest of the tournament, right? With Ascension around the corner.
Yeah, especially when Full Sense aren't looking too hot in with the stats, with the records that we've seen, right? They are just not looking as good as we expected them to be. That being said, though, Talon Academy, ooh, using the Viper Spit like that. Canopy in the west. Now just clearing up the opponents here, but Laz firing through with the Sheriff. Okay, he's hit the shots.
He's actually popped the Neural Theft there as well, so they are going to be going for this round. They're confident with the advantage. Laz looking to do the damage. Surf does find him, and into the kill contract. Here we go, Leviathan. Maybe there's an opportunity now. QQ God swinging in. It's going to have to be on the Surf, but denied. There it is. You know, we're just talking about all the pressure going on the Full Sense, and all of a sudden they turn around the round. They will just have enough time to secure the defuse. And yeah, map point now here, with Talon needing 6 on the trot to try and take it to overtime.
That was a thrifty round win for Full Sense, right? If I'm not mistaken. They just had Sheriffs in hand. And
they did. That was all they had.
Yeah.
It was 2 from Laz up here in this position now, and then, you know, finding the kill inside the kill contract. They had to invest some ultimates, Sasarai, but, you know, it was enough to convert, and they're just stoked about it, as you would be.
Yeah, that's because that was such an important pivot play from Laz, just because he gravitated 3 players of Talon Academy to him, which in turn exposed his teammate Beta to the other players of Full Sense, and the kill contract from Laz as well. Oof. Sorry, Leviathan, I mean.
Talon really feeling the pressure now. You can see it. They seem to be a bit more hesitant in their approach. Full Sense happy to leave just QQ God over towards the side of A. There is some utility that was set up earlier by Laz before the rotation came through. The Owl drone doesn't quite spot the information, so I think, you know, Talon should very well find safe passage in towards this side, Asarai, but if history precedes us, it might be a bit of a tough one. So QQ God 1 for 1. He's out. Now it's going to be a 4-on-4 on the retake.
Yeah, who did they lose? It's Beta, so they're only going to be relying on XZ here for that smokes, and he's only probably going to have the 1. No more walls or everything, so the potential for flanking is there, and it's a lot scarier as well. Kennedy holding this position on the corner here. So far, it's a pretty separated retake from Full Sense. They're really checking all angles, but I do like it just because it might separate their attention of Talon on this retake.
Potter finding the first, and now it's a trade back and forth. The time is ticking. Laz with the operator up inside heaven. The dark cover is about to fade. Potter swings out, finds 1, make it 2, and a 3rd, and a 4K for Potter. A perfect way to close it out. I think they do have just enough time. It's going to be very, very tight. Oh, what? No way.
0.01.
1. That is insane. I thought there was just enough time, but maybe the delay in the broadcast, which we get into our ears, you know, the ping, obviously. God damn, that's crazy. I can't believe the game continues like that.
This is... What?
Oh, man.
Oh, I didn't know we had that zoom feature. That's sick. Thank you for that production. But I gotta say, this is a... Oh! Oh my god! Undercut into the Hunter's Fury. What a combination!
Wait,
and QQ
what?
God has had it. 2 kills with the Hunter's Fury. Even we're not even 10 seconds into the round, and he's already given a big advantage here for Full Sense.
Oh, we're all just stunned, still thinking about the 0.01, and now we've already had 2 Hunter's Fury kills in the first bloody 5 seconds of the round, it feels like.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. And then they picked up the Vandal and the Guardian off the back of it. You know, this is now a winnable round for Full Sense.
I was about to have like this monologue where Talon, you know, were able to perchance give themselves an extra round by the skin of their teeth, but then Full Sense just bring out this haymaker. Oh my god.
Oh, not like this, Talon. I mean, now it's just Kennedy, right, to try and do the damage here, and he's denied the From the Shadows, which is an awesome position so far. Fast lane to give some additional space. Goofy got into position, does tag him up, and that's a little bit aggressive there from Kennedy. He does it.
Because of the change of map on Icebox, it makes a lot more sense for Talon Academy to have more control, especially now that they're going to be on that defending side. So I still like the idea that XZ and Beta will be on this double controller here. The one thing that maybe I'm a little bit unsure of is just having Surf as your only initiator on that Sova. I'm not a big fan of just Sova as your sole initiator on Icebox. I think Gecko is just not even a tad bit better, but actually better just because of what he offers for you. A lot more contact and just the safety for the wingman to plant the spike.
Look at this control already as well. Looking to try and fight the fight up towards B long. Moving into the garage now, and the Owl drone's going to go out, spotting some information quickly. Doesn't connect on the opening shot. XE does find it. Some damage is dealt, but that actually does mean that we can see Talon pick up the pace and head their way straight in. The Dizzy actually does catch onto Snappy, so that's going to force his way back into the kitchen, but Leviathan is already there. He's going to get a kill for free. You would hope at least. Yes, okay. We can breathe a sigh of relief for now, but Kennedy does get the trade back. There's a hell of a lot of chaos already happening into this round, and we do see the spike get planted by Full Sense on the side of A.
Yeah, this is where it gets very tricky for Full Sense, just because it feels like they didn't really get any options to play the post plant, and they're kind of separated into this, and you're seeing that stress happen for them right now. They just have to hit shots. Potter not able to get more than just the one, and it's all down to Laz. 3 versus 1 here. Spots out the first. That will be Kennedy, but he will get completely shut as Talon retake the site and claim the first round.
Real live. Happy days. Very good position to be finding themselves in. They did find the pistol on the second half of the previous map, but yeah, that was a very, very early resurgence here. So I do like this approach, you know, very aggressive for the defender-sided pistol, you know, trying to take advantage and catch Full Sense sleeping. But yeah, my eyes will very much be on what they're going to be looking to do in these next couple of rounds and how quickly they can hold it all together because, well, that's all right. Full Sense, they forced.
Yo, you're right. What is up with Full Sense with this? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, right? You just kind of want to disrupt the buys of Talon. If you make it expensive for them, they're forced to play the gun rounds. I don't know how this is going to work, but you know what? I'm excited for this. They have the idea to make use of their Viper, and it is giving them that bit of entryway. Beta's going to get completely traded off, and it seems like this risk is somehow getting them value.
Absolutely. Site secured, but obviously that spike's still stuck long, and they don't want to actually overextend or overstay their welcome. They're going to allow Potter to try and find a little bit of additional space here, but it just sort of leaves Talon Academy very confused about where they want to try and take this. They now do try to reapproach the site. Recon Bolt does actually get the information too, so it's still putting Full Sense at a little bit of a standstill. I mean, look, Surf is low, but this is a very winnable round for both these teams. Hard to put the finger on the trigger.
There's no anti-flank. Oh, woo! Kennedy, double kill. That's a big one. Quick little charge, though, but QQ God does not know that Xe is on the backstab. One more shot. There it is. Expensive round, definitely for Talon, but that force buy for Full Sense, well, did not surprise him enough to get that win.
So what's the just going to look like into this next round? Obviously, another spike plant.
Now flee.
Talon picking up that second round, but only walking away with the Guardian and the Outlaw. I mean, look, hopefully they'll be fighting up against just the pistols here into what would normally be the bonus round, but we'll have to beg the question once the purchases do go through. So look, that was a good attempt, I think, by Full Sense, but they are giving a real sort of good start to Talon Academy here.
Those 2 rounds, though. I wonder what was the... I guess it's just because they could isolate these tighter positions with Leviathan on that Viper. That they're able to play these force buys and threaten it like it's actual real buys. So, you know, if that made any sense. Anyways, Full Sense gonna be on the weaker weapons, and Kennedy's not gonna miss the chance to just bully that bully those couple of kills out of them. So far, it does seem like Full Sense. Oh, yeah. That is so difficult. Xe still getting out of harm's way, even though he was just on the zipline too. Quickly charging against his opponents. Only got QQ God. And that is a clean round for Talon. Sure, a bit of damage here and there, but they're able to transition all these weapons into that next round. And this will be the round where Full Sense actually get themselves their guns. Finally.
Real good economy establisher there from Talon to keep 5 alive, right? You know, they can finally back up the bank accounts a little bit, not needing to reinvest. They might pick up an additional Vandal onto, I think it was, yeah, one of the players still had a Sheriff, but also some interesting news onto the other side, into some of the other regions. You know, we continue talking about Ascension, formerly known as Bonkers, now E-King, qualifying from the Oceanic region into Ascension only just a couple of minutes ago. Very exciting times for the Bonkers squad to get back over after their run 2 years ago, Asarai, that we were at in Thailand. So
wow, that's a throwback.
It really is. So good things happening, but Full Sense able to find the opening pick onto Surf here as well. So Kennedy will invest very aggressively. Does get the shot onto QQ God, but he's traded by Potter.
So far, it feels pretty messy for Full Sense here. Like, they can't get that control that they're wanting on A, and look at how far the attackers have already kind of gone. They might actually go and just get traded to smithereens if they're not careful about this, but seems like Full Sense, you know, they went a bit quiet, went deep undercover, and they were able to get a couple of picks here and there, and that just ultimately won them the round. You know, the past couple of rounds has been a bit too heated, so maybe just a cool, slow approach took Talon a bit by surprise, and they got trapped themselves. That's a good mix-up here, I'd say, from Full Sense.
Real good opportunity to get back into this. Obviously, the full investment from Talon Academy. Do have the operator to come out from Kennedy, who has been having a pretty good start here on Icebox. What are they going to do with it? This approach from Snappy, Alarm Bot. Going to get the spot, but they are straight through, and Kennedy hasn't actually connected on any of the shots here. Beta does get one. Sephiroth now getting the little guy, the wingman, out to try and distract, and he is successful here. Sephiroth now actually looking to get that spike planted. And Exy does have a pretty solid position here, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to find. It's a 4v2, and I think Kennedy may very well want to save here, Asarai.
Wait, does he know that Exy's actually somewhere near him? Because he is staying in that position, not syncing up with the rest of the team. Oh, I guess he wasn't able to really read that situation out. Oh, that is going to be costly, though, for Kennedy, just because they will just back away from him and just find a better position to fight that 2 versus 3 if ever. But from the looks of it here, Conky, seems like they are just going to be backing away and, yeah, save the weapons. It's a lost cause by now, and Full Sense have just gotten themselves another round.
A little bit of a slow start from Full Sense here, but, you know, sometimes that does happen. They had a reasonably solid crack in towards the second round, you know, with that force buyback, with those stingers, with the Outlaw.
Let's go.
But,
I got things to do.
Yeah, look, you know, it's been a good fight from Talon Academy too. So this game is still very much up in the air, very open. And as we know, you know, if there wasn't a couple of those moments that maybe, you know, went slightly differently, some of those individuals not looking as good, and the game previous could have been a little bit closer on Haven too. So Talon Academy still certainly need to be taken very, very seriously in this matchup.
I gotta say though, I gotta point out that one play that we saw where Snappy just put an alarm bot inside the smoke.
Yeah.
And he get completely pushed by Potter. I don't know. Just maybe Full Sense playing this. Ooh. Okay, great shot from Kennedy. But yeah, Full Sense playing this very aggressively is catching Talon off guard.
Now the Thrash out. Doesn't quite catch Kennedy, but he actually gives his position up. Yeah, that's awkward, Asarai. Not exactly the position you want to be in at all. Exy does find Leviathan, but Snappy taken down to 5 HP in the process. They are on the site. They do have some control. They know exactly where Surf is. The Dizzy not in a position that can be recovered either. So they're going to start to aggress their way in. Full Sense. It's going to be Potter diving into heaven, looking down further towards Spawn, finding that control. The Thrash is recovered. It can go hunting for information again. There's one, there's two. They know that they're coming in for this flank here. Asarai now Beta up close. Exy, great shot, but Potter, he's on for the ace here. Finding 3, looking fantastic. Snappy's low. It's all going to be a game of timing here for Potter. Where's he going to look towards? We do see the Shrouded Step to get around the other side. Nexy, he denies the ace. QQ God onto the other side. He pops the Hunter's Fury just to buy some additional time. But how much does he have? The Shock Dart can go through, and it's going to deny. Utility usage is to crispy perfection for QQ God, and even avoids the Radianite there as well. The detonation comes out in Full Sense. They tie up the scoreline with Steez.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I just blurted out for a second there. Because, like you said, it was perfectly played by the Sova. He hit the necessary Hunter's Fury to make Snappy second guess, and then he hits the perfect one shock dart. He had 2 shock darts. He only needed to hit the one to deny the follow-up to that defuse, and then Exy just couldn't do anything because he was so far away from the spike. He was just trying to get a kill against QQ God here. That was such a sequence for Full Sense. My God, Conky, this team is fearless. They are like, they're playing their rhythms. It's a band. They're on their gig, and the fans are just shouting encore because of just how good the performance has been. This is what it looks like from Full Sense here. Not again to disparage Talent Academy at all, but it seems like Full Sense just have so many tricks in their bags, and Talon are having a very difficult time, out tricking them.
Well, listen, Talent Academy, obviously, right? Not the master roster. It's that project to try and work on some of this individual talent, try to, find players like Primi and the like, right? Bring them up to that Pacific level and nurture that talent. Whereas Full Sense, is a team that has been trying to fight so hard and, was a serious contender to ascend to Pacific last year in Ascension. But, it was just... Nongshim, formerly Simprisa, that was just a little bit too good. Boom, the exact same in that lower final. They just can't be consistent enough, and that's the thing. We really want to see a team like Full Sense. If all 5 players, Asarai, of this side played well all the time, you can't expect that all the time, sure, but at least a little bit more consistently, they would be, one of the best teams in APAC for sure. But they've got the talent there. They just need to put all the pieces together a little bit more regularly.
Yeah. So far, though, it looks like Full Sense are looking a lot sharper in this series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm biased. I love this team.
I do, too. Oh, my God. Okay, Talent Academy,
30 seconds left.
whatever happens, they're not a team that will, shy away from opportunity here. That is pretty ballsy from Surf, just to throw out the Hunter's Fury immediately. But I guess it's just because there's not really a lot of time for Full Sense to maneuver, and he can just scare them away to give chance for his teammates to start moving around. So far, though, they are dying left and right. This seems like a clean round for Talon. Yeah, almost. Surf will be the only collateral, but so far, that will give them that advantage over Full Sense.
It's funny, isn't it? Just the round prior was so different to the one we just saw then. Like, so slow from Full Sense, a really kind of odd approach. And I think off the back of that, it's a great time to call the timeout. I definitely feel like there was some wires crossed in that round. And, it is one of those interesting games where you've got Potter up the top, Laz yet to activate. He was such a pivotal piece back on Haven. And again, Valorant, it's a team game, Asarai. As we know, you can't just have one individual fragging out, hoping that they can put the team in the backpack. Carry along. Everyone needs to be doing their part, injecting, and that's why we're going to have, Coach on the mic, giving them a bit of a pep talk. And again, if history trends itself right, Full Sense should very well win the next round off the back of the timeout. But time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, though, these... I am starting to love the timing for Talent Academy. I was mentioning how Full Sense was this and that. They're... very aggressive with their plays and whatnot. But Talent, all they really have to do is just have that due diligence and just check and just, not be overly complacent that if they put a utility here and it's already late into the round, that Full Sense won't be there. They probably will. So, just a quick little check for Talent every once in a while is just enough to kind of dissuade Full Sense. Oh.
Pit down, really trying to capitalize on that long control here. Exy also throwing out the from the shadows to try and support this B position. There was definitely some sort of awareness or thought process that they were up a little bit further towards B, maybe aggressing through mid there, but no, that will not be the case. And my eyes are firmly on Kennedy, who is tucked in, having a little bit of a look. And he is going to get straight out of there. Surf actually finding the opening point here onto Potter. Kennedy taken. So an opportunity now for Full Sense to get in towards this side here, Asarai.
Probably just waiting for that wall to drop, and then all hell's definitely going to break loose. The wall, or the smoke, does go away, though. So Surf is trying to isolate a couple of fights here, but it seems like he did play into the hands of Full Sense. No refrags for him, and this is a signal for the attacking team to start working their way into the A site. A couple of shots here and there, though. Snappy is holding pretty well at the underneath or the under portion of A site. If he's able to survive this, maybe that flank from Beta would have been extremely good for Talon, but was able to flush him out, and that's going to be a 2 versus 1 as Laz and Sephiroth will play this against Beta in the retakes situation.
This has been a really awkward map just in general. I feel like each team is kind of trying to outplay each other a little bit too aggressively, and I think potentially they're overthinking it a little bit, but Full Sense do very much seem to be in control here. They traded their way on towards the site very, very well. They didn't get baited by that spike plant. They gave it the additional time. They used the additional utility to clear out the angles needed, and now they've taken control of screens. They can peek on in. They can get the info. Laz just does enough to get it off the half tick, so they're doing well so far. Nano is going to be destroyed, but I don't think they're going to be stressed. That's enough to win out the round, and Beta can't quite get it done. So, well done from Full Sense. Going to be able to pick up 4 rounds here, Asarai, and equalize the scoreline again.
You know, with my roots and with my internet connection, but yeah, so far, honestly, it's a pretty good back and forth struggle between Full Sense and Talon. Every single time that Talon has an answer, Full Sense will have an answer of their own, and then vice versa. This is looking to be that kind of game for now. And another answer here for Talon is a very aggressive approach from Kennedy. I don't think God knows about this, but that jump at least gives him a little bit of information. Unfortunately, the shot will not save him, and that will give them full control back of that A side and an upgrade into the weapons as Beta able to flush out and defend his home territory there. Spike is all the way still dropped at the attacker's side, so they can't really pick it up and plant it on B. And you can see that already Laz is trapped, can't really escape, and that's some easy kills for Canada here. A very difficult position for Potter and Sephiroth to be in. Just so many utilities, still a lot of threatening players, and they can't seem to wiggle their way out of this one just yet.
It's just such a weird round, right? Like, I'm honestly, like, a little bit tilted that, again, a team like Full Sense that is supposed to, you know, sort of be edging towards that tier 1 space is so disconnected in a round like this. That was basically 5 1v1s that they've just lost out by, you know, positions around the map that Talon Academy have now been able to capitalize on. And appreciating Sephiroth's approach now, he's trying to wrap around, get in towards Tube, you know, give a little bit of support from mid as opposed to just coming down long. But they've only got 30 seconds. You've already got 2 of these members from Talon Academy up in the spawn, so they're going to be able to defend it very, very well. And there's just great angles being held. Beta, he does get taken down. I mean, look, there's a potential bit of work here, but 15 seconds, even if they get the spike, there's just no time. And Kennedy is basically going to make sure he 100%s that round with the rest of the team. Exy finds it, but that was just lackluster from Full Sense. You can't give any props to that round at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The challenge there was to basically 1 versus 2 for the remaining players, which was Sephiroth and Potter. And again, very difficult position to be in, but gotta say, though, it seems like Full Sense forced themselves to play a whole different ballpark while not really responding to the advances of Talon Academy. You kind of see that, especially on that mid or A main and mid control, where Talon just pushed up and Full Sense were very much preoccupied of holding or pushing up to B. So maybe, yeah, the mix-up here for Full Sense coming into this round is just to straight up ignore mid and then separate themselves 3-2 on both that B and A front, which I think at least gives them a bit more leeway.
Toxin screen down.
Really, the pressure being placed back onto Full Sense now to try and get something done here, you know, appreciating obviously the differences in not seeing Icebox picked up as much, but this is a much better approach here. Playing the high-low angle, able to do some early damage. Sephiroth finds 2. QQ picking up Beta as well. So there you go, some good damage being dealt. Leviathan finding Exy. This is much more succinct, much more synergized from Full Sense, and a great callback off a previous round that was super lackluster, but now they've just got to be careful that they don't overstep here. This would be the overpeak that they just don't need to do. They don't need to throw this round away to a scary Surf, right, who we've seen do some serious damage. One of those kind of OG Thai players that's got a champs under his belt.
Well, this is where it just gets incredibly hectic for him, because he has to just force his way through the B site. He already knows that Laz has his number right behind him, and yeah, he doesn't know where the other 2 players are. He doesn't know if they're hunting him, but it seems like now he will, as he loses his life with that one. It is still a pretty neck and neck fight here. Talon Academy definitely have, you know, things working out for them, but both teams definitely not having that solid that solid ground that they want to stand on in Icebox. It's like everything is just melting beneath them, you know? No pun intended. Or maybe.
We can give you that one. That's fine. I'll allow it.
All right. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all right. What we won't allow is, Laz still sort of lagging behind here. I mean, look, playing in a attacking sided Killjoy can be a little bit of a challenge, but Kennedy just walking straight in towards the lower part under the belt, able to find 2 there before he is traded ultimately. Now, Snappy only does have the Sheriff. There's 2 Vandals in the hands of Surf and Beta. The information is gathered, but I don't know if Laz is going to be ready for this one. Surf does get shouldered, and he hits the shot as well. QQ got another trade. Damage being dealt. They swing deep. They're able to punch down, and that's QQ got a fantastic round from the Sova here. And somehow, some way, Full Sense have found their way back into this map, taking the lead in the latter part of this half. It has been, an interesting approach. A little bit inconsistent, but, we'll give them credit. They've taken the lead back.
Absolutely. So far, though, we'll have to see how this kind of goes, because there's a definite mix-up into the purchase of Talon as well. I mean, sure, a bunch of them still have the rifles and everything, but I think this is the first time we're also seeing Beta bring out the Judge. No, wait. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, kind of interesting that he doesn't have, he's gonna Judge without his Viper Spit, but there's an altercation happening at the start of this round. Hunter's Fury all about here from Talon Academy. No kills, no damage though. So far, Conky, that commitment from Talon not working out, and now, without Surf's Hunter's Fury, they can just use this lockdown and start working their way towards the safe site. Sephra has already given up Kennedy's positioning, and they actually throw their own Hunter's Fury here. I wonder what for. Oh, okay, but just because kills are locked on. Okay. What am I talking about?
Done. Yeah. Able to find it, and obviously taking the control off the back of it too. Now Kennedy going down. Will be Sephiroth. Nicely done. At least one sort of response back here. Leviathan picking up another, dropping XC. But Kennedy is continuing to do work here. He will need to go absolutely nuclear, and look at the rotation all the way around here from Potter. But unfortunately, Kennedy seems like he was the only kind of, necessary hero here. But in the end, Asarai, it will be Full Sense going 7-5. I did not expect this scoreline, but Full Sense, I will say that they have somewhat earned it.
They have fought tooth and nail against this opposition here. Very much overwhelming, but against Talon Academy. But yeah, they're finding the foothold. They're finding that rhythm again. I think it's still a fair fight. Talon Academy aren't Talon Academy for a reason, and you're kind of seeing the value of that. Ooh, okay, Potter, he's still holding this position, and he will be rewarded with that kill against Beta.
Me and Komodo were talking about it, the amount of impact that you do see from these Sheriffs. Just so much damage can be dealt, opting for the upgraded weapon that can, do 50 in 1 onto the body. Always adds that additional impact, and now Potter actually managing to briefly slip the net. Surf does get the trade, but he's taken down to 16 points of HP now, so there is already that control. They can't quite find the Spike Clan, and now as they rotate around, it's actually going to be the tag as well from the Shock Bolt. Snappy does get one, but he's traded quickly, so eyes onto Exy here. Asarai, he'll have to go and have a pretty solid round. So many angles to try and witness as Sephiroth will swing in and deny. So great opening here from Full Sense. They'll pick up the 8th round, and that starts to make it look really, really scary for the rest of the series for Talon.
Now the question is, with the double controller and the plant on the Spike, will Talon take a page out of the book of Full Sense and go for a force buy? At this point, yeah, I saw it. I think you answer my question there. Yeah, this replay is just a testament, like you mentioned, to how strong the Sheriff truly is at the start. But now, is it really? Yeah, there it is. Force buy for Talon. They know they can't really take this that far into this game and give Full Sense like 9 and 10 rounds in. So they got to make something happen with this force buy. Oh, okay. I think Full Sense was able to realize that it is going to be that force buy. Now that they hear the stingers and everything, and the quick little movement of Talon around the map, Kennedy could be in trouble here, though, as he was forced at the back of the site, but so far, no kills here nor there. Oh, no, what is happening? They're dying to all these snake bites, man. The trades is there, but it seems like Full Sense are still on top of things, and it will be them taking the round. What?
Icebox is still in such an interesting state, my friend. You know, as I said, Komodo was complaining about how kind of poorly this map sort of comes together now. You know, we've definitely seen some sincere highlights on this map over the years. I've had some of the most sort of exciting plays to come through, but it was one of those maps where when it first came out, I hated it, then I loved it, and now I'm kind of just it's a bit mid, I suppose, at this current meta with the agents around, and you know, with so much new stuff coming in, like bring back Abyss is what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't think you can play Icebox without having agents that can just go second floor and be successful with it. So you definitely need the Omen, you definitely need the Jet, maybe even the Raze. And if you don't have those prerequisites, you're already at a disadvantage. What is happening? Oh my god!
Uh-oh. Potter, you don't get to play this round, but Beta does actually manage to sort of make a decent recovery. I think Sephiroth thought he saw something else over towards yellow, which was indeed Surf. Now, information gathered off the back of the Owl drone being popped from Snowman. So, Snappy's positioning is massive. But, you know, the thing about having the flank, having the space, it means you still need to connect those shots. And unfortunately for Surf, well, he is caught on an island. And now we've also seen Snappy spotted too. So, unfortunately, TLNA Academy, you lose this round.
That's right.
I like the idea. I like the bravado that we saw from Kennedy there, but unfortunately just was not rewarded with the follow-up from his teammate. And I mean, he did jump out into no man's land, sort of, like there, right? I mean, Leviathan was already just quick enough to get that refrag, and again, because of just how much, what is this, Nano Swarm and Snake Bites been thrown at B-Long, the response from the rest of Talent Academy is delayed, and that slight delay is just enough to really still give Full Sense the net positive trades in that defense on B.
This is the last sort of sincere opportunity, I feel like, Asarai, for Talent Academy to get back into this series. First gun rounds, they have the advantage. QQ got obviously just on the Bulldog, but yeah, they need some gusto. They need to go at this one really aggressively. And with Leviathan playing that forward positioning up towards yellow, they are going to get aggressive. But Kennedy, he has been the consistent motion, hasn't he? Finding another opening pick. And will he be able to get another? Absolutely. Is exactly what you need to be seeing from your duelist. He's 21-10 with only 5 rounds on the board. And now as the cross is being held, Snappy trying to get some further information, but he's lost his opportunity. It's going to be a tough retake here for Full Sense to try and pull off.
They are making it happen, though. That's the thing. So, a couple of kills here and there. There's still some wiggle room for them, and they're able to isolate a couple of these fights. And Kennedy just says no! As he picks up that ace, they come out of hut, and he will be the one to just bring them all crashing down. Good stuff from Kennedy.
24-10, Asarai. Top of the server by 7 kills, and they're still down 4 rounds. And the thing is, he is doing what the duelist needs to do. He is getting aggressive. He is fighting the opening picks, and that is just clean. Super, super sharp. You know, we're watching Team Secret Academy yesterday as well, and that White Cat guy, he was doing very, very similar things. So it's so nice to see some of these sharp players on the duelist doing what their duelist needs to do.
Can make that, you know, just, how many is this? Like 4 more aces. And we're back in business for Talent Academy.
So easy, man.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's not a hard ask for someone like Kennedy. He can make it happen every single time. So far, though, seems like they are coming, or are pushing with this high that Kennedy has provided. And look at that, everybody at the top floor. But oh my god, 2 kills immediately from Full Sense here. They're not messing about.
Oh, that's awkward. Beta, unfortunately, not quite connecting onto the spray here, and it's going to be Viper Diff in this round. I mean, like, what do you even do, man? You know, you get Kennedy finding the ace, all that control, and then the immediate next round, Full Sense get 5 without a single trade. It's just a really, really tough pill to swallow, and you can't sort of you know, call any questions, but that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. Valorant is a team game. You might have some guy tripling the rest of the team. I think if you do the math, you know, we do start to see Kennedy almost have the same amount of frags as the rest of his team combined. Not quite, but
Yeah, pretty
that
close.
doesn't mean a conversion of a map.
Out of my way.
Take flight.
Unless, you know, he does get 4 aces in a row and then he
Of
just
course,
brings
of course.
Maddox's team from the death. But yeah, that is too much of a ridiculous ask. That being said, though, Talent Academy, so what's the play here? Seems like they are giving Surf the job to just... And this is what it gets a little bit tricky, right? Where I thought Surf should be playing with the team and Snappy might be playing Lurk/Ancillate because he's on the Killjoy. Feels like you're gonna go into the site blind without your initiator, and you can see that there's hesitation on Kennedy to just go into the site because he just doesn't know well that's the end of it. Ooh.
Carrier is dead.
There's his opportunity there for another one of those aces, Asarai, but unfortunately it doesn't quite connect. Now it has to be Surf to try and do the damage, and as that recon dart does come out, he's been spotted, so they know exactly where he is. Shock Bolt in as well. He's going to slot his way on towards Heaven and just try to get that spike planted now. I think they actually should be able to wrap around and get the information straight away. Yeah, they know exactly where he is now. We will see the jump over into the middle of the site, and there it is. Map and series point here for Full Sense. Looking to try and make it a 2-0 over their Thai counterparts.
Yeah. I'm not sure what was in the comms there for Talent Academy, but really not having any idea what's at the back of the site is... I mean, you put a lot of trust into Kennedy, and Kennedy definitely can perform, but when he peeks out and like 3 people looking straight at him, I don't think that's a good measure of where how his skill is gonna just permeate in the continuation of that round, right? Because he can get the kill for sure, but then he's gonna get completely refragged, and then he kind of left the rest of his team to start trickling into the site, and again, that's what Full Sense wants to happen. When that happens, you can already see they're so ready to just pick them off one by one. And again, you're leaving the leftover player to play that clutch scenario where he might not have the best chances to make that happen.
You can see the stress and the sweat right now. I do like it, you know, right before Map and series point, you know, taking that time out to just try and put some additional pep in the step of your players. But, you know, at the exact same time, it is probably a little bit too close to the end to be making that decision. But that's okay. You know, Talent Academy have been still showing good signs throughout the year. They've shown that they are competitive. You know, they're not a team that has sort of had similar results by, like, showing up through relegation and promotion and then falling apart very, very quickly into the group stages or the opening stages. But Full Sense, just a force to be reckoned with right now, and this is going to be a bit of a brawl out towards Long B. Kennedy finding the opening pick again. Wingman actually does get the connection there, slowing him down. Sephiroth still in position. Potter inside that dark cover does get the catch. Another frag found. Surf trying to pick up the orb, trying to pick up the position, but it's actually Beta to find both Sephiroth and Potter. Now QQ God and Laz have to rotate around, but that spike is dropped. It's going to be an early connection here. The shot actually is good from Snappy. Now it's all onto Laz, who hasn't been having the best game, and he's just going to try and slip the net here. They are both moving up as a unit to try and find this 2v1, and it looks like the spike should be planted by Surf, but Laz is just going to buy the time.
Well, I thought Laz was going to go for the long wraparound, especially now that he knows that they kind of synced up. Recon Dart at least delays him from coming out of kitchen here, but like you mentioned, it is going to be that 2 versus 1, so both Surf and Snappy will just make sure that they are close enough to each other that they can play, they can at least play this refrag situation. Oh, I like the positioning here from Laz. He might be able to at least isolate the fight here and start defusing it. Snappy is going to be checking on that half, but oh, not even need it. That's just not able to really read the situation correctly. And that will leave Talon with the win here.
1 foot in front of the other, Asarai. That's all you need to do if you're Talent Academy. Looks like it was a little bit more of an effort by committee there. Sure, Kennedy finds the opening, but the rest of the team does trade inwards. And it was a great flank there from Beta to find all of that additional control. But a round secured off the back of the timeout means that Talon Academy is still alive. It's a very similar scoreline in the previous map, 7-13. Are the wheels going to fall off the Talon train? Or will they be able to continue pushing upwards?
Ooh. Okay, at least this will stop them from maybe pushing up into B, but they still have a good amount of utility to start flushing it out, especially with that Sova drone. Oh, Sephiroth gonna get away. Oh, that wall though gives them a little bit more space, and they are decaying slowly but surely inside of this. Leviathan is trying to look for an opportunity.
Ah! That's crazy. Classic free weapon, by the way. And look, I think this is the way that the game is going to fall downhill. Surf, XC, they do have the spike. They do have some control. They're wandering their way over towards the site of A. But what a fantastic job there from Leviathan with the judge inside the Viper's pit. Peeks through, gets the classic out, picks the kill up onto an important member of the team. So I very much feel like this should be curtains on this series, Asarai, and then we can start to think about what it's going to be like to see the Philippines take on Thailand. Ready to see your bias come through, my friend. Always fun. But a 1 versus 4, Exy. If you've got what it takes, mate, I want to see it here and now. 25 seconds to try and close out this map. Recon Bolt straight into his face, and the concern starts to come through. I feel like Potter is going to dive through this position over towards screens now. It does get taken down, but again, you know, there's just no bloody time, is there? Sephiroth is going to get the information, a couple of sprays, and with 8 seconds to go, that is the game, that is the set, and that is the match. Very nicely done from Full Sense. They're going to take their way up and put the sweat off, put the pressure off a little bit on this roster to make it one step further towards playoffs.